In this video series, we're going to go through the process of setting up a site using Joomla. Joomla is a powerful content management system, and there's quite a lot to it, but there's nothing difficult about it. It's just that there is a lot of functionality to it. So I'm going to go through the main ones that you're going to need to get a site up and going. Okay, so the first thing to do is go to joomla.org, and then you want to download the most recent version here. So this one is going to be, in this case, up here, Joomla 3.4.3. But whatever one is here, this is one you want to download. So go ahead and download that. Now also, you should go over to the left-hand side here and look at the technical requirements. Of note, you need PHP 5.3.10 at a minimum. A lot of hosts don't use that by default. For instance, if you're using HostGator and you're using a shared hosting plan, it doesn't use this one by default. So once you get it installed, it's going to give you an error that says you have the wrong version of PHP. But all you have to do is get on a chat session with them and tell them which domain you're running it on, and they will switch it to the proper PHP version, and then everything will work properly. Okay, so once that's downloaded, you're going to need to go and unzip it. So here it is here. Now, if I right click on this, I can just do extract all, or you can use any other program that you like that unzips files. I like to use 7-zip because it's faster, and you can download that for free. Just do a Google search for it. So I'm just going to do extract files. Now, while that's happening, what we need to do is go to our control panel and create a database, since Joomla is database driven. Well, since Joomla is database driven, of course, you have to create one of these databases. And I'm going to show you in cPanel since that's what I'm using here. But no matter what hosting you're using, there will be a way to create a database. So I'm just going to use the database wizard here. Then I'll name my database Joomla. Next step. Now we need to create a username. I'm also going to call this one Joomla, but you can call it anything you like there. Now I'm going to generate a secure password. So copy this into your clipboard and say you've copied it somewhere safe. Click Use Password and create user. Now give it all privileges here. Go to next step. Okay, now open up a notepad session so that you can save your information here. So this is my password, and then I grab this stuff because this is my username and my database name here. That happen to be the same in this case, but you can name them different. Okay, so at this point, we should upload our files to our server. To do that, we're going to use a program called FileZilla. You can use any FTP client you like, though. So let me open up FileZilla here. Okay, so here we have FileZilla. On the left-hand side are the files that are on our system, and this is what we want here, the files inside that directory. Right side is going to be our server once we get connected up. And to connect up, you put in your host name, which is your domain name, your username and password for your hosting account, and that will connect you. You can also set things up in the site manager so that once you're in there, you'll be able to connect to them anytime. Okay, so I'm going to connect up to my server now. Okay, now what I want to do is upload to this site. I'm going to put it in a directory. So I'm going to create directory and enter. And I'm going to call it Truck and SUVs Reviews. Okay, click OK and go inside there. And now all we have to do is upload all this. So if you click one and then hit Control A, and then right click and upload, and we'll upload all of those. Okay, so at this point our files are all uploaded here. Now to start the installer, all we have to do is type in the URL to our site. So in my case it'll be my domain / truck and SUV reviews. Okay, so if everything has gone according to plan, this is what you're going to see here. Remember, if you get that error about the wrong PHP version, go ahead and contact your hosting provider. Okay, so first select your language, and then we'll have our site name. I'll put that in here. And now put a description in here. This is your meta description, so it's used by the search engines. Okay, down here whether the site's offline or not, so you can put it offline while you're building it if you so desire. And then on the other side, we need our admin email, our admin username, admin password, and then verify the password. Okay, so at that point, we click next. All right, now we need to put in our database information here. So you can put MySQL. Your host location or your host name, this may or may not be right here, and I'll show you how you can find out. Go back to your databases section in your control panel or whatever you use, and you'll see something called phpMyAdmin. Go inside there. And if you look right up here at the top, you'll see the server host name. So in this case, localhost is correct. So nothing to change there. Now down here, our username, our password, and our database name, we have all of that in our notepad. Now we made our database name and our username the same, so I'm going to copy that. It goes here, and it goes here. And then we go get our password. And then you have your table prefix. So this is just to differentiate between tables and a database if you're using one database for all of your installs. Okay, let's go next. Now, next you can decide if you want some sample data put on your site. This is a good idea if you're just beginning and you want to see how everything works. I'm not going to do that in this case, so I'm just going to say none. And then down here, we can have it email us the configuration. Okay, so this is our main configuration, our database configuration. We have our pre-install check over here, and they also say yes. And our recommended settings and our actual settings. Okay, so that looks all good. I'm going to click install. Okay, so now we have Joomla installed. Now you'll see a note here that says remove installation folder. You need to get rid of that for security purposes and so the whole thing runs correctly. So click here. Okay, so it says it's fully removed. So now we can look at either the site or administrator. Let's go administrator. And we can sign in. Okay, so at this point, we have now installed Joomla. In the next video, we're going to start our setup process.